Hey there, welcome back. I'm going to do a quick demonstration of something that some of y'all have been wondering about, and that is, what if my computer is not letting me just double-click Gargoyle to run it, like this? Nice and fancy, right? In the actual instructions that Dr. Gracie provided, he actually tells you to use the command line. And that's different if you're on Windows or on Mac. On Mac, it's going to be the terminal. You will open the terminal and open what is called a shell. It's just a command line access to giving the computer commands, things to do. Very much like what you actually do inside of Gargoyle, but this is the way you run it. So on Windows, you'll be doing slightly different commands. And I'll type it out here. You have to open the command prompt. Command prompt. You can also run cmd.exe. But whatever it is, you open it up, and that's a batch shell, slightly different than this bash shell. You don't need to worry about the names of these things. The idea is the same at the core, but there's just a slightly different command you use on Windows. So let's do it on Mac first, and I'll show you the version of it on Windows, and I'll talk about it as we go. So the first thing you need to know about command lines is that this entire computer, as I wiggle around here, is just running on a command line. The operating system is running on a command line. All this fancy dots that you see here, all the screen is just colors that some program run from a command line is printing to the screen. So under the hood, this is it. That's where we are. Now, the question is, how the heck do we use it? Okay, so to use this command line, there's a few commands you should know about. First is this is the difference between the Windows command prompt, which again, you can open the command prompt from start, or on Mac, you can find it under Utilities, the terminal. Search for the terminal. So here, if we type ls, this is going to list the current directories from the current folder. When you open a terminal, it typically goes to some kind of home where you're at, right? So open a new terminal again. We are at, it's basically listing as JKL is my username, so it's in my home folder. So if I go ls, what's in my home folder? All this basic stuff. If you, in Windows, you would type dir for directory. Same idea. Okay, doesn't exist over here on Mac, but also, by the way, these Mac commands, this is just shell. So this will work on Linux as well if you happen to be using Linux. Although if you're using Linux, you probably already know about the command line, but still you should know. So ls, we are trying to find our way by way of the command line to the destination here in Padia. Well, if I look quickly at the bar here, where have I stored this document, this folder? It's a little deep, so we're going to have to dig in. I'm going to have to dig in. You might not have to search quite as deeply, but let's do it. So the way we can find our way there is make a note of where on your computer your file is stored. Remember that directories are all hierarchical. So like your user directory will have documents, or it might be on your desktop, right? Figure out where it is. Go to really get at it. Here on Mac, you can go to Get Info, and we can find name and extension. I'm looking more for the path. Open with. No. Where is the path? Is it showing it here? Where? Yeah, okay, where? Here it is. This just uses as a guide. So if we didn't know where it was, how would we get to it? We would need to sort of know where it is, but just start changing directory, cd. Now this actually works on both batch and bash. So on Windows and Mac, cd will do the same thing. It will change your directory. So I'm currently at my JKL root directory, my user. I'm looking for documents, courses. Okay, so documents, change directory to documents. Interesting. We see now I've got documents in my line. Okay, so if I ls again, what's in documents? Aha, new things. We're in a different folder in the command line. So now ls again. What are we looking for? It's in courses, right? cd courses. Okay, ls again. We're in courses. All right, we're getting there. This is COG 166. So if I do cd, here's a shortcut. Here's a trick. If you hit C and then tab, it will autocomplete. And it'll also even fill in these spaces for you. You have to backslash a space so that it considered it the same character, same command. So COG 166, great. ls cd semesters, ls cd. We're in 2020 Q3 fall. ls cd assignments, ls cd Padia. Okay, this is your destination. ls software, cd into software. Yes, it's this repetitive. There are shortcuts. You can do the whole file path all at once. This is also a good reason to store things carefully. So now if I do ls, finally we are in the place where the Gargoyle.jar file lives. This is good. What we want to do with this jar file is ls. So that's a nervous habit to just check where I'm at. Always just ls. So we're going to run Gargoyle.jar. First, check, is Java installed? And if you've done the previous part, it should be. Java? Okay, great. It actually ran. It didn't say, hey, where's Java? So this is how you can check from the command line from anywhere. This doesn't require you to be in the folder that we're in. This is just anywhere on your command line after Java is installed, you can try to run Java. Now, I'm not running it with any parameters. I'm just saying, do Java. And it says, I don't know what you're talking about. So we don't do that. What we're doing is we're going to say Java, and then we're going to give it an argument, jar. That's a sort of a property we're assigning. So Java, jar, and now we can do Gargoyle.jar. What is this saying? This is saying use Java, and a reminder to Java that this is a jar file. It's not like a raw code that it's going to compile. This is a program. And then we tell it which program. We are in the folder with Gargoyle.jar, so this will work. I'll prove it to you. ls, right? Gargoyle.jar. So if we do Java, jar, garg, tab it in, make it faster. Ta-da! Same as if you'd double-clicked it. The reason you care about this is that some systems, you get a little confused when you try to run things like this. It's hard to debug it. If you've been working with programming for a while, you're used to doing this. You're used to debugging these things, fixing them, running them from the command line. But for your sake, if you do get into this case of, oh, my operating system's confused about whether Java's installed and what to install and where to run the file from, blah, blah, blah. If you can't figure it out, you can always fall back on the command line, because the command line is how all these things are actually working under the hood. It's actually a good thing to learn. It's an unfortunate piece of extra work that we're having to do here, but it's good to know. So if you've had trouble opening Gargoyle from just double clicking it, like the easy version of all this, then this is the way to do it. Now let's do it one more time at speed, and we'll do it fresh. So let's, real quick, I'm going to make a new folder on my desktop, because desktops are slightly easier to reach. So you might prefer to put your stuff here. So open Padia, we're going to do the software thing too, as discussed, right? Padia and software. And I'm going to dump a copy of Gargoyle.jar in there. Okay, so we're back to sort of the base situation, as if you had just started the whole thing all over again, right? And we're just going to do it. This also assumes that Java Development Kit is installed. So we're going to do this from scratch, same way. So I'll close. Well, I'll keep this one out for a second. We'll just hide it. It doesn't matter. So we're going to do this from scratch, and we're not going to look. We know that Padia is on the desktop, and that the software and the Gargoyle.jar file are in there. So from our root, well, how do we get there? ls, desktop right there. So cd desktop. Remember, if you are in Windows, you would type dir instead of ls to check. So desktop, I changed directory to the desktop, ls, Padia. Okay, so cd to Padia. Okay, cd software, ls, Gargoyle.jar. Great, gets us there. I'm going to do it all again in a single step, and you'll see what I mean. So from here, cd, we're going to do it all in one line. Desktop, we know, and you can always check by hitting tab to see if it's, oh, it auto-completed, great. P tab, great. S tab, great. Oh, heck yeah. So there we are, ls, Gargoyle.jar. So now we will java-jar Gargoyle.jar, and it runs. So that's just the primer in case you've been struggling with this and you weren't sure what the heck was going wrong. This happens sometimes. It always happens with at least a couple people. So if it's you, you get to learn a more powerful way to access programs, at least Java ones so far. Yeah, so also this terminal is now busy. You can't type in it anymore because it is busy running Gargoyle. It has run this command, and it has not yet returned because this thing is still happening. So if I kill Gargoyle, it's done. The process is over. Great. So also reminder that what you're turning in for the assignment, oh yeah, I've just hidden it, is, and also I'm going to throw this away. Goodbye. I have you stored somewhere else. Thank you. What you're turning in for the assignment is your black dots JPEG, right? After you follow all the steps from exercise 1. So, and you turn it in on Blackboard, the same place that it was assigned, okay? Okay, that's it. Thank you. Take care. And stay safe.